All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. Thanks for dialing in. So my name is Joseph. I'm the growth coordinator here at Noumena. Noumena, we love to help freelancers like you guys grow your business. And today our special guest, Laura Briggs, will be discussing sort of all the things you need to know to build out your business plan. If you got questions during the webinar, please just type them into the chat window and we'll circle back to them and address them during the Q&A portion after Laura's run through her presentation. We'll also be recording today's session and it'll be available on the Noumena platform under on-demand webinars. By the end of our time today, we hope that you feel more equipped to take your freelance business to the next level. All right, thanks, Laura.
All right, welcome everybody. So quick caveat first, I'm dealing with a little bit of laryngitis, so I should be all right, but I do have my tea here and I may need to pause to take some breaks just so I don't lose my voice. So today we are chatting about business plan basics, and creating a business plan is important for freelancers, but not in the way that almost any other business would build a business plan. So anyone who needs sufficient capital to start a business or is going to rent an office space or has to buy product, right? These are all considerations of other businesses that don't really apply to freelancers. So I am going to talk mostly about sections of a traditional business plan and focus only on the ones that are relevant for freelancers, which to me is like your services, the clients that you're targeting, and your marketing plan. And at the end, I'm going to give you a Google Doc template for setting your next 90 days for your marketing plan, because I feel that is probably the most important thing for freelancers to focus on as they build a business plan, once they know the services they want to offer and the type of clients they're going to target. So let's go ahead and dive in here. If we haven't met before, my name is Laura Briggs. I work with Noumena on a regular basis to give trainings like this and to help other freelancers up-level their freelance businesses. I've been doing this for 11 years, mostly providing legal, copywriting, content writing, and digital marketing strategy for agencies all over the country. So let's start by talking about what is a business plan. The simplest way to look at this is to think of it as your roadmap. It confirms what you're going to do in your business. And in that way, by committing to certain things that you're saying, these are my target clients, these are the services I'm providing, these are my intended expenses, this is my marketing plan for how I'll reach those clients, you're also freeing yourself from feeling like you need to do all of the things, which is a very common problem for a lot of freelancers. They try to do too many things and they're just sort of haphazardly throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. A business plan gives you that cohesion of all of your ideas, but it also narrows your focus and helps you really think about the best way for you to grow your business. And this is really important for scaling your company, but also helping you to navigate your business as it grows. So overall, it outlines your goals and your strategies for achieving them. When freelancers don't set goals or don't feel some sense of urgency, what I see them do is they don't market. So they want to be a graphic designer, or they'd love to build a six-figure business as a virtual assistant, but there's no consistency in the actions that are getting them there, because there's a difference between saying, I'd like to, I've always wanted to, it's my vision to, and actually coming up with the goals of, okay, if I want to be that six-figure virtual assistant, what work is it going to take from me to make that become a reality? Because contrary to popular belief with a lot of new freelancers, clients do not fall from the sky into your lap. You need to go out and get those clients. And so you need to have goals. When I started my freelance business, my goal was simple: $1,000 a month. It was a side hustle. Having that extra money per month while I was working a full-time job would help. Over time, that has changed, right? It's changed to $3,000 or scaling to a different point, or now it's running my business in less than 25 hours a week. But having that goal, or that set of, 2 or 3 goals max, gives me a sense of, am I doing the things every day, every week, every month that are going to get me to that goal? And so your business plan can be something that is a little bit more long-term too. So let's say you do want to build that six-figure business, or you'd ultimately like to make enough money to leave your day job and rely on your freelance income alone. That may not be something that happens in 90 days or 6 months. It might take some additional time, but having it documented in your business plan of, this is what I'm working towards. I'm building my runway to quit my day job. I'm building up to 8K or 10K months, will help you in the daily business of going, am I doing what it takes Did I do enough today to market myself? Did I serve my clients at a level where I'm building consistency, repeatable business, referrals, and testimonials? So let's talk briefly about the general components of a business plan for a freelancer. You really want to start with who you help. Who are the people that you provide services to and assist? You can be as narrow as you want with this, but I discourage you from saying, like, let's say you're a website designer, your target client in a business plan is not every person or every business who needs a website. That is way too unfocused and unclear. So I encourage you to drill down. You might say, I build websites for e-commerce businesses. I build websites for companies just getting their start in the Dallas metro region. You've got to narrow it in some way to say who it is that you're helping. So you, like I said, you can be as narrow as you want, right? I mostly work with medium-sized law firms who practice personal injury. So I am super niched into the work that I do and who I help with my clients. But as a new freelancer, you might start broader and then narrow that down over time as you get to know the clients you like working with. The next phase of your business plan is to document what you do for those clients. That can be as specific or as general as you like. If you're totally new, you may be thinking about providing several different services at once, but the more you can narrow it down, the better. So, I provide SEO driven content writing for law firms to help them rank on Google. That is the simple one sentence, what I do for them. And because we need to start thinking about differentiating yourself from your competitors from day one, we're going to take that one step further with your secret sauce. Your secret sauce is what you do or what you bring to the table that is different from anyone else, right? So what is my secret sauce? I've been doing this for 11 years and have a track record with over 450 clients. Maybe you're bringing in experience from your day job. Maybe you have advanced certifications. Maybe you've developed a custom project or process to make getting this thing done easier for your clients. Maybe it's simply that you've been told you're very detail oriented or good to work with, right? So these are things you can start thinking about. The secret sauce is probably the element of this that may change the most over time, because if you're a beginner, you may not yet know what that looks like for you. And then one of the things that I believe to be the most important in your business plan is your marketing plan. And we'll talk about that in a little bit more detail. And I'll share with you that free Google Doc of how I help freelancers think through creating a marketing plan that's actionable and doable.
Yes, ma'am.
So the next thing we're going to look at is how are we going to keep clients or leverage them? What is the experience? What is it that we are going to do that makes these clients thrilled to work with us? Client experience is so important. And I've often joked with a lot of my freelance writer friends that 50% of why we stay in business is because other freelancers just can't meet deadlines. It is really that simple sometimes. How you're going to meet clients, you're going to show up professionally, you're going to communicate well, you're going to set deadlines, you're going to stick to those deadlines. You are going to make clients feel as though it is just wonderful and easy to work with you. And so that's something you want to think about. What elements can I bring into my freelance business? So for example, for bigger projects, I always do a kickoff call with my clients. That call is recorded. I am taking notes during it and I review the recording afterwards. The purpose of the kickoff call is for me to ask all the questions I have to make sure I have access to everything I need, and then to outline for them on the call what they can expect in the coming week. So I might conclude that call and say, your first draft will be delivered by Wednesday of next week. At that point, I'm going to give you 5 to 7 days to review it, at which point I will circle back. All of that is setting expectations for the client, but it's giving them a really good and clear experience. These are the kinds of things that make clients want to stay with you. I recently wrapped up my longest retainer ever with a client because they decided to take their project in-house. We worked together for a decade. That client was worth thousands and thousands of dollars because I made their life easy. There was no reason for them to go find another freelancer during that time because they were having such a good experience. So we want to think about how are we going to keep clients Or if we're doing one-time projects, how are we going to leverage those clients? How are we going to use their testimonials, their case studies, their reviews, their feedback to help us get additional business? Now, expenses is a really common category for a traditional business plan and is usually very important for a brick and mortar business owner because they have to think about things like office rent, utilities, renting a copier, all of these things that we don't have to do. But as freelancers, you do want to at least have some bullet points of what your expenses are going to be at the beginning. That may be acquiring a new computer if you need one, paying for Adobe software, your internet connection, if you have a phone that's just for business purposes, things like that. We just kind of want to know what those general expenses are because it will help you as you are scaling your business. And remember, we're setting some of those income goals. I also like to encourage freelancers to add something to their business plan that is not in a typical business plan, and that is your target hours. So if you've ever heard of Parkinson's law, that is work expands so as to fill the time to completion. It's why you were able to turn in that college essay after staying up all night and you submitted it 5 minutes before the deadline. So if you don't have a clear plan of how you're going to use the hours you have for your freelance business, you usually end up not spending them at all or not spending them on the right things. So if you're side hustling, you may only have 5 to 10 hours a week, but you want to be strategic with what you're doing with them. And you want to kind of have that documented. Especially important to document this if you're planning to scale up to a bigger venture or leave your full-time job, because you want to make sure that you have target hours that make sense with what's available for you and how you're going to use them. I also like to set 3-month goals in your business plan because that is going to help you with determining what it is you're doing on the monthly basis, the weekly basis. What are the actions, the smaller actions that are getting you to those bigger goals, those revenue goals that you're going to set? All right, a couple quick tips for writing a business plan. Get specific. General does not work. It just doesn't work because there's no clarity for you or for your prospective clients on what it is that you offer. This keeps you spinning your wheels for a long time unnecessarily. So be specific. Even if you know that in the future you're going to narrow things down with your target client, with the services that you provide, you still want to be as specific as possible with where you think you're starting with. Your ideal client is not everyone. The services that you can provide, as in you have the skills to do it, does not necessarily coincide with the skills you should provide. There may not be demand in the market for all of your skills, or it may be too hard because you're spreading yourself too thin to try to be a graphic designer for a logo today and a brochure tomorrow and somebody's social media calendar the next day. So leave room for you to come back and change things, but be as specific as you can. You're going to want to spend the most time on your marketing plan. It is far and away the most important thing for new freelancers, because whenever I have coaching calls with new freelancers, 90% of the time are about, I need more clients, I need more money. And when I ask, how much are you pitching? How many pitches did you send last week? 1, maybe 2. And then there's confusion from them as to why they have no clients. So I've put a link on the screen here. It's a bit.ly link, so you can just enter it. You can type it into your browser exactly as is. And I will switch over to show you that just so you can kind of see what you're working with there. All right. Okay, so hopefully my screen is showing the Google Doc. This is something that you can hit File, Make a Copy. And it walks you through filling out some information about your business. Some of this may not be relevant for you if you are brand new, but if you've been in business at all, you can just adjust some of the categories here. So your 3 biggest accomplishments in your business in the past year, that might be in the past month if you're new. What challenges have you navigated? Did you learn any lessons from projects that you stepped out of or that the client terminated the relationship with you? And then this is a really important question. When you look back at your past year, or insert however long you've been, freelancing, if it's shorter than that, what percentage of your time was spent in, okay, people are saying that link may not work. So I will share that link. I will put it in the chat when I'm done chatting, talking through this, so that we can make sure that you get a copy of that. So don't worry about that. So when you look back at this past year or insert section here, how much of your time was spent doing flow work or work that you love on projects you really like? Does that match with where you want to be in the coming season of your business? Sometimes you can build a business, a successful freelance business with the wrong clients and on the wrong projects, which can actually make you quite miserable, right? So we don't want that. That's why we do this check-in. So this is an example one for 2023. What revenue did you make in the past year? What revenue have you made so far? What is your average monthly revenue? The reason I look at average monthly revenue is because some months, we were talking about this at the outset of the presentation, are just bad. For me, August and December, it's a joke. I'm never going to bring in new business those months. And so I look at quarterly averages. I also like looking at quarterly averages and then dividing it by 3, because I may take vacation for 2 weeks in a month. And so that month may be lower financially because I turned in work before I left, or I'm turning it in when I get back, or I just told the client I can't take on any work, but I like to average it out. Then you want to think about what are the actions you're going to do in your business? What is converting for you? One big mistake I see freelancers make is they're trying to do all the things. They're like, well, I'm pitching on Twitter and I'm on this job board and I'm responding to Indeed.com posts and I signed up for Flex Jobs and I look at LinkedIn, and it's just like, it's too much. If you have an existing freelance business, find the 1 or 2 things that have converted well for you and lean into those. It is that simple. You can add in other things later if those do not bring you new business. If you don't have enough data to make that decision, make an educated guess about which 1 or 2 platforms are most likely to bring you new clients right now that you can narrow in on. And so this worksheet, you're going to kind of answer these questions, and I put some examples here. So where am I falling short? Am I not converting? Am I getting people to a call, but then they don't sign up from the proposal? There's something wrong with my call or my proposal, or both, right? Maybe my work samples aren't convincing. Maybe I need to make some new ones. So what can I do with this information? Kind of like take your learnings from that. Okay, I've been on Upwork for 6 months and I've not landed 1 job. Okay, what can I do with this information? I need to switch to something else, or there's something wrong with my Upwork approach and I need to hire somebody to help me with my profile or my pitch. So I also, I talk about this in some of my books, I call it like a 10% marketing method. These are things that require 10% effort or 10% of my time, but generate a big possible return. For me, that's scanning job boards and that's posting on LinkedIn. If I am in the middle of a super busy week and all I can do is scan my job boards and the email lists where I receive freelance job leads and post on LinkedIn a couple of times, spend an hour and a half, at least I know I'm doing the things that are driving me closest to getting new business. So what are some simple things that are also within my reach that I can do? If my number 1 source of new clients is referrals from my old clients, here's an easy one. Why don't I set up a referral program where I pay my clients $100 cash or $100 off their next invoice for every client they send me that signs a contract of 500 or more? That's easy. I could even put it in my email signature to let my current clients know that's available, because maybe they didn't realize I'm accepting new clients or that there's an incentive for them to do it. Then I want you to get realistic about how much time you have to dedicate. I've had this scenario play out so many times that it shouldn't surprise me anymore. When I work with clients whose biggest struggle is marketing, they will take on an unbelievably big goal that they cannot possibly execute on. They've sent 0 pitches in the last 6 weeks, but suddenly next week they're going to send 25. That's unrealistic, especially if you haven't been sending any and if your time is very limited. So how much time do we really have to dedicate to marketing every single week or every day, if those are, that's what's required of the methods that you're doing? One thing that I had to do early in my freelance business was implement what I call Marketing Monday, which is I have to get all my marketing done on Monday, so there's no excuses that I'm busy later in the week. Then I feel really good about doing it. I spend the whole morning on Monday sending pitches, responding to clients, sending proposals, scheduling follow-up meetings, whatever it is, writing my post for LinkedIn for the week. And then I'm like, cool, I'm done with marketing for the week. Like that I only have 3 hours in my schedule to do it. I've earmarked those 3 hours for the highest leverage activities. Cool. And then I've included a section here for you to fill out with some examples above it. So I want you to set 3 marketing goals in your business plan. So if someone's going to send 5 pitches per week on Upwork, what is that going to take from them? Maybe it's looking at that board for 20 minutes a day. And then where does that go in your schedule? Don't just say you're going to do it. When is this actually happening? Sending 3 cold pitches a week, let's break that down. That looks like an hour and a half to research the clients I want to pitch. It's going to take me 30 minutes to send the pitches and then 30 minutes to follow up. And then we've got a schedule here. Fridays at noon, I'm going to research the clients I want to pitch next week. Monday, I am writing out the pitches and then I'm going to send them then. And then on Thursday at noon, I'm going to do my follow-up with people. Okay, so this is really something that I want you to and I want to encourage you to do, because it's action-based. It's not just saying, I want more clients, or I'd love to have 3 more clients. What are you doing to get those clients, and when is it happening? And then also, this one's more relevant for experienced freelancers who tend to deal more so with burnout and overwork than they do not having enough clients. They actually have too many clients, but it's good for everyone to think about this, especially if you're setting revenue goals or hourly goals. What time do you plan to take off this upcoming quarter? Does that align with what you've said you're going to commit to in this 90-day marketing plan? And then also, I also like to just check in on my expenses every 90 days. Am I paying for any software I'm not using? Did I sign up for LinkedIn Premium to send 5 pitches and now I need to remember to go cancel it? Have I heard about a new software or something I want to test out or try? Am I going to upgrade my Upwork account? Just things like that that tie into what it looks like for your marketing. So I recommend doing this every 90 days, coming back to it, a marketing, writing down those lessons. What did I learn in this last phase? What does this mean for the goals that I'm going to set ahead? Okay, so I am going to real quickly just pull up this. I'm going to get this link for you all, since someone said it didn't work, and then I will go back to finishing the presentation and talking about some next steps for you. Okay, I am actually just going to drop the direct Google link in the chat. So let me know if that doesn't work for you. Someone feel free to test that out. And then I'm going to go back to my presentation here. All right. So we talked about the marketing plan. You can copy that and enter your own information. I just keep it as a template that I can look at every quarter. So now I want to talk to you about a way for you to get some more support with your business. If you really struggle with accountability or follow through, or you're like, I have so many ideas, I don't know how to narrow it down. Like, what things should I focus on for 90 days? Noumena is accepting applications for a really amazing program called Rise. It's a 1-year training and mentoring program. It's really designed for freelancers who want to hit the ground running, and they want to do that in a really supportive environment where they're going to get help from coaches like me and other experts on the Noumena team to implement those things that you need to really run a really successful freelance business, and just kind of have a sounding board for you to build your freelance business your way. I think that's one of the coolest things that we get to do as freelancers. We get to set our schedule, decide what projects we work on and who we work with. And you're in control of so much as the CEO of a freelance business. You really get to decide, how is my business going to inform my life rather than the other way around, like my business is taking over my life. So I really encourage you to check out the Rise program. You can learn more about it by joining our Noumena community, which that's free. So join Noumena at noumena.pro, and then you can check out the Rise Growth Program and look for those program details to apply. So now, if anyone has any questions, I will be happy to chat with you all about that.
Yeah, I think we got one question in the chat.
Yeah.
Would love your perspective on engaging those prospective clients who go silent after the proposal gets shared.
Yeah, that's a good point. So there's multiple reasons for this. So I'll start with the easiest one first, which is that the client may just not be ready to invest in this, whether it's a money thing, it's a time thing, they feel overwhelmed, whatever. A lot of times as freelancers, we take things personally. It's not personal, it's business. Sometimes a client, like I have had clients that have gone silent for months and then like show up out of nowhere. So don't take it personally that it's a failure for you. The other thing I like to do to deal with this is to see if I can get them to take another action that will help me figure out what the log jam is. So I've done this by doing things like I put an expiration date on my proposals. Proposal expires in 15 days. After that point, I can't guarantee that I'm holding time in my calendar for you. I can't guarantee that the rate is the same. This works to move people forward who want to finally cross this off their to-do list. It also gives you a natural point to follow up. You can say, hey, our proposal, expires in 5 days. I just wanted to touch base and see if you had any questions. And sometimes that works really well to get people to figure out what it is that is going on. The third thing I'll share about this is throughout your proposal, which is something we're going to talk about in the RISE program, because it's one of the things I'm really passionate about, is nailing your pitches, your sales calls, and your proposals, is you want to build the experience of what it's like to work with you in the proposal. So every time you do a call, you're listening to the client. What are they saying? What does a win look like for them? And I am using action-oriented language in my proposal to kind of close things out, like, hey, I can get started as soon as March 15th. I'd estimate this project will take about 3 weeks, but I'm really excited because I think creating consistent social media, whatever, insert your service here, is really going to be the thing that helps take your business to the next level. So we already want the client, as they're reading the proposal, not to be focused on the price. We want them to care about the outcome and the experience. The price is important too. Sometimes you are just too expensive, or they have to get approval from other people, or it's just not the right time, and that's okay. But we want those people who are just on the edge and are feeling uncertain about hiring a random freelancer, that they're actually in really good hands. So those are my main tips for how I would handle that kind of situation. But again, don't take it personally.
Awesome. Thanks, Laura. We got one more. What advice do you have for recent college students with little work experience? What are the best ways to continue strengthening your skill set? Certifications, software?
Yeah, that's a great question. So good work samples and passion can overcome experience almost every time. You got to remember that every freelancer started somewhere. So you're just at a different point in your journey with that. So what I would focus on is making really amazing samples, and you can make all kinds of different samples, depending on what your practice or what your service area is. But I would focus on that. And if adding certifications is something that is treated well in your industry, let's say you're a project manager, getting PMP certified, that's a no-brainer. If you're new in digital marketing, taking HubSpot's free digital marketing certifications, excellent stuff to put on your LinkedIn profile. And it shows prospective clients that you are passionate about and continuing to invest in yourself. You can also build up, you can use your own business as an example of your work. So if you're a social media manager, work on building up your own social media. Use those screenshots as your work portfolio. If you're a blogger, maybe you start your own blog. And so you're showing clients like, hey, I'm not just doing this because I think it's a great way to make a quick buck. I'm doing this because I'm passionate about social media. I'm working to get my first couple of clients. And then the last thing I'll say on this is, if there's anything you can pull over from your college experience that you can repurpose, a digital marketing plan you created in class, a website you designed, some code for an app that you worked on with friends, those are things that can become work samples. A lot of times freelancers get hung up on, well, hey, I don't have any published work samples, or I've never had a client. So how do I prove that I could do something? Make those samples up or repurpose them. I hit this all the time as a new freelancer because my work is ghostwritten. So I actually can't share 90% of my published work with clients. So I made 3 work samples that were just simply to show the style of my work, my tone of voice, my researchability. And I tell clients that when I talk to them, I say, hey, for non-disclosure reasons, I can't give you the names of my clients or share published work that is under my client's byline. But here are 3 different samples of my work and how I approach a project. So get creative with it. Do continue to invest in yourself, because that shows clients that you are really passionate and interested in what you're pitching.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Laura. Are there any more questions? Okay. If that's all the questions, then I guess that's all we've got for you guys today. Thank you, Laura, so much for the presentation. Thank you all for joining us. just before we fully sign off, if anyone here is interested in Rise, feel free to reach out to me on the Noumena platform. I'd be happy to tell you more about it, or go to noumena.pro/rise to check out more about the program. Thanks so much, everyone, and we'll see you next time.